Welcome to more Dark Souls 2 with me, Oni Black Mage, and I am currently still making way through the Brightstone Cove Tseldora after just beating the first little mini-boss, and I'm going to call him a mini-boss because even though we had a boss bar, that really wasn't much of a boss fight. That was a mini-boss fight of the priest and his dark congregation. And we are moving through, sniping mages along the way, carefully making our way along these cliff sides of whatever a Tseldora is. Is a Tseldora even a thing? There are certainly lots of spiders along the way. None of them have been too aggressive, and I still don't know what their damage output is, and frankly, I'd like to keep it that way. If you're a long-range character, either an archer or a mage, this place is right up your alley. There are plenty of sniping spots, and lots of open enemies, so get the high ground and start sniping. I've seen lots of people use archery, but less than mages, I've seen even less archers. Even though there certainly is support for archery here. There's that Hawkeye ring that extends your range for arrows, which I'm sure is fantastic. You know, Dex would be fantastic for that, I'm sure. The bows here are pretty reliable. Arrows can be easily found. There's even that lightning bow, which I'm sure is fantastic for enemies weak. The fact that there are elemental weapons like that so readily available really means that if you want to play a viable archer build, that's fantastic. Once again, I love the design in this game for allowing you to play whatever you want, and it all works because it comes down to your individual skill, not so much power gaming particular classes. I met this one guy who is not a specialist of anything. He's playing a jack of all trades. He does very light melee, he has a little bit of sorcery, a little bit of divinity, a little bit of archery. He doesn't specialize in anything. And none of his stats are that high, and he's making it through the game just fine, and enjoying it all the more for it. So you can play whatever you want, and be fine for it. I failed that jump. What I should have done is taken off my heavy armor and made that jump. I believe when you're lighter, you jump further. But yeah, I mean, it just proves the point. You can play whatever you want and have fun with it, and I love games that are so well balanced like that. And again, this is a well-paced game. Between takes, I usually grind an area, and here's my personal advice for grinding, or at least the way that I choose to grind. When I come against a boss, and if I have a hard time against said boss, what I'll do is I'll start grinding the area en route to the boss, for two reasons. And I think I mentioned this before. Reason number one is you can use the extra experience and level up. Reason number two is you were going to have to probably fight through those enemies anyway to the boss you were struggling against, so this is just eliminating two birds with one stone. So get the extra experience, get stronger, and that way you can go to the boss fresher and stronger when you are ready to face them. Plus I need to work on my sniping a little bit. When you're sniping with a soul arrow, it's a little bit different from sniping with, I'm sure, a bow and probably lightning spear. With lightning spear, if you're targeting with it, it shoots straight, which is really cool. So the center of the screen is exactly what you can aim for. When you're shooting with a soul arrow, your target has to be slightly to the right, because that's where you're, or I guess to the left if you're holding your staff in your left hand. Actually, that's something I just now noticed, is that I'm choosing to carry my weapon in my right hand when there's actually no reason to. I can be a left-handed character if I want to. Although, if I'm not mistaken, you by default hold your torch in your left hand, and I don't think there's a way to change that. Alright, that was an obvious little hole in the wall there. Just like how you can dual-wield weapons, it'd be kind of cool if you could dual-wield staves and actually double fire off spells. I mean, it still costs stamina, so I don't see why not. Okay, that's a new enemy. That is a parasite-ridden man with a spider on his back. I hate to keep quoting it, but man, this is stepping into some Resident Evil 5 territory. Can you tell I'm a fan yet? That's actually going to be a future recapitation. After I'm done with Final Fantasy. And possibly Metal Gear. That's another series that has a very long, convoluted storyline that not a lot of people are all too familiar with. They kind of just get the gist. I have a lot of projects set up, and making time for all of it is something I'm working on consistently. Like I said, this is just the first time experiment. If it kind of goes decently, then I might keep doing a little bit more of it, but it is pretty time consuming to video record and comment and then edit and then post, because that takes time from all the other projects. Having fun, but at the same time it's just something new. It's new ground here. Once again, thank you guys for all your patience and supporting me in all this. Alright, I'm not going to try jumping there, I think, maybe, until I lighten up my load. Let me continue exploring these areas though, because that area to the far goes off to a building, so that could be the new area or a boss building. And this area seems to dead end over there and not really continue in any which way. Not to mention there's still a few doors on the bottom, so there are lots of options for where we can go. So, and the fact that that first enemy seems to take multiple hits with Great Soul Arrow, I think it took like 3, possibly 4, kind of tells me that I may not be necessarily... I love when physics go crazy. I might not be in the right area, honestly. I might be progressing too far here, past my challenge. After all, I still need to go back to Iron Keep, and it has been a while, and I do have now fire resistance in terms of fire resistance ring and the Iron Sweat Pyromancy. Yeah, these guys have close to 1,000 hit points, honestly. I might be better off going back to the Iron Keep. In fact, I think I'm gonna keep exploring here, get a little bit more treasure maybe, switch ahead, huh? And I'll probably go back to the Iron Keep. It's been a while, I've leveled up a lot since then. Just because the mini-boss was really easy, that means absolutely nothing for the main boss. Which, given the spiders, and now the spider-infected zombies, and all that, is highly suggesting that this is yet again another Spider Queen that we have to face. That's kind of RPG 101 when you think about it. Okay, this just spits out back here. Okay. I don't remember where that switch did. Oh, that's right, I lowered the bridge there to that chest. So let me go get that chest. Yep, perfect. Alright. And let's see what's in. Ooh, that made it very worth it. Now I have 2 additional spell slots with this ring. That's fantastic. You know what? That was an excellent prize, actually worth the sidetrack. Although I think that might be it, though. I think I might want to go back and start prepping for the next area. Yeah, I don't want to jump down here. It doesn't look like there's an easy way back. And I'm running pretty low on the homeward bones. I don't see a way back up, which is a shame. Other than death, obviously. Decisions. I suppose we don't really have a choice, do we? Alright, I'm gonna homeward bone out of here. And we're gonna pick it up over to the Iron Keep. Okay, and here we are in the Iron Keep. Crossing those flames is still a little bit difficult. But I'm finding that, as you can see, I put on Flash Sweat, which is very, very important. I also have the little fire resistance burr, and I myself am wearing the fire resistance quartz ring, +1, that I got from the salamanders in the Forest of the Fallen Giants. And I'm finding that these guys over here, these Alon Knights, well, first of all, wield some very fast katanas, and I can see why there are many katana builds out there, because these things strike very fast and they hit pretty strong. But fortunately, I'm weathering the hits pretty well, which suggests to me the fact that these guys only take about a little more than 2 Great Soul Arrows and the other guys take 3, indicates to me that this is pretty much the right place where I'm supposed to be. So I'm going to continue on in this area. These guys also, for being starting enemies, are pretty good in terms of getting experience. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed. These are a lot better than the enemies in the Brightstone Cove. They're a little bit tougher, they're faster, sure, but they're giving a lot more experience. This whole thing's giving a very Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Fire Temple sort of vibe. That's the first thing I thought. I expect to hear the Gregorian chant in the background, the original Fire Temple theme. Of course, if you never played the original version of the Ocarina of Time, and I did back in '96, I want to say it was. That still is one of my favorite games of all time. That you'll notice that the Fire Temple theme, it's true what a lot of people have said about it, that they changed the theme like basically 2 times. They found that the original theme was, they used sound clips that were offensive to some people because it kind of sounded like this Islamic chant, but it was nothing offensive and it wasn't used offensively, just some people chose to take offense to it for whatever reason. And they took it out and replaced it with another Fire Temple theme, and then they replaced that when they eventually did the remake version of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, I think for the 3DS. And it's funny because I have the collector's edition of the game for the original N64, I have a regular edition, and then I have the Master Quest version, which had a different theme, and then I have the 3DS version. Like I told you, I really love this game. I own it 4 times over. And each one of those versions has one of the 3 different themes, so it's kind of interesting. And they also, in the most recent version, had to take out the symbols in the Spirit Temple, I believe it was, the one that had like a crescent and a star, because it was too similar to the Islamic religious symbol. Even though it wasn't used offensively at all, I guess for political correctness, they chose to change that. It's the same reason why in many games they take out like crosses or churches or any sort of religious denotation, because for some reason you're not allowed to express real-world religions in a video game. For some bizarre reason. You can in movies, you can in books, you can in music, but you can't in video games. For some odd reason, it's a media format that people do not allow religious, expression whatsoever, even when it's completely non-offensive and it's a fantasy world that isn't even reflected in real life at all. So I am right at a merchant here that sells not only some really good sorceries and hexes, but also sells some really good equipment for grinding. Because that Jester gear, I can see why I've seen people have it, because it has one part of it increases the drop rate for items, one part of it increases the number of souls that drop, one part decreases critical hits, or nullifies them. That's really handy stuff. Sure, it looks silly because it's a Jester costume, but man, that's some pretty handy stuff. I can see why people use it for grinding. I might have to pick it up myself. Between that and the +1 Silver Serpent Ring, that's some really good soul harvesting. And between these enemies here, these are just the regular guys, I could easily see getting around 200k experience in this area. Possibly more, since I also have a bonfire aesthetic. Actually, I have a couple of them that I should burn and grind some more. It seems what this guy also does is he takes a lot of the spices that you guys have been collecting so far, and if you burn them, you can lower the amount. Yeah, see right here, like I can choose to lower the prerequisite faith score that I need to cast these lightning. Like the greater one is 42, but I would need to lower it a little bit more. And I could use that by burning a Skeptic Spice, and it's permanent too, which is really nice. I don't need Simpleton since I already am an intelligence build. But as you can see, I'm looking to restructure my stats. I'm currently soul level, I believe 132 just there. And I want to redo, I might just use my soul vessel and redo my stat points. That's interesting that he's right there, so that's handy. I'm going to come back to him later. Alright, nothing up here it looks like. Oh, I meant to read the message and I accidentally clicked the wall. And it turns out that was a hidden wall. That message was probably saying that it was a hidden wall. Nice, another Pharos' Luckstone. Yep, that's what I figured. I meant to walk over that and press A, but I pressed A against the wall instead. Alright, so it leads to a ballista room. Interesting. Aiming at a wall, do I blow the wall off, I wonder? More archery stuff. That's what I figured. I figured that was another illusionary wall. There's no reason to be pointing straight at it. Oh, nice. I can shoot this guy. You know, that dealt a lot less damage than I thought it would. The guy's like, huh? What's that noise? As he turns around, this giant bolt just flies over his head. Alright, well, it looks like he's coming this way. I wonder if I can shoot him in time. Nope. I like the slim look of their armor. See, that kind of armor is something I can get behind. The bulkiness that I have, I'm not a fan of it. To me, things have to be slim, sleek, streamlined. Maybe have like a flow to it. It's kind of why I like the tight-fitting robes that Strayed had, or the armor that these guys are wearing. They're probably weaker than the giant bulkiness that I'm wearing, this giant rhino-like armor. But, I don't know, the rhino armor right here is pretty useful. I don't have any fire-resistant shield, though. Which, I'm probably going to have to get that item underneath that fire there. But I passed a water vase earlier. Those vases hold water, I remember. Those black vases. Yeah, so what I'm going to have to do is... Alright, so there's a fire-spewing bulkhead over there. Ox, incidentally. Doesn't look like it turns off at any intervals, although it did pause there for a second. I'm going to douse myself in water. There we go. Douse myself in water. Apply flash sweat. Yeah, and then jump down there and grab whatever that item is. Alright, so I have fire resistance this way. I'm dousing myself in water. I have a fire resistant ring. Let's jump inside here. Oh yeah, okay, that's good. I took a little bit of damage, but that is a lot better than the scores of fire damage I was taking before. So applying water to yourself really helps. In the future, though, I probably should have healed myself up with something. I probably should crack a radiant gem just to offset the gradual decreasing with the gradual increasing health. Alright, so that went pretty well. I now have an iron key. So that's good that I got that early. I haven't encountered any locked doors yet. Alright, don't see any hidden wall messages here. More of these knights I see in the distance. Alright, let me see if I can snipe this guy. Ouch! It's funny, just as soon as I read ranged battle, an arrow went out and smacked me. It dealt a fair bit of damage, too. Alright, so there's a sniper there, who is too far for me to lock on. Alright, not good. Times like this, I'm glad I had the Drangleic shield, but... Alright, okay, so there's a fog door in the distance, too. This is a pretty spiraling area. I like how open this area is. It seems like it's meant to be... Yes, headshot. Alright, so he's going to take... These archers take a little bit more than their other knights. They also have pointy hats, I notice. And they deal a lot of damage and can also shoot. So these are not weak archers. Wow, these guys take easily 3 shots. Ah, come on. One of the borderline unfair, and I say borderline because again, this is there's no such thing as technically unfair in this, unless like it's a system glitch and like, you know, like I said, a breath weapon shoots out for some bizarre reason past the wall when it really shouldn't. But it is borderline unfair that mages and archers can lock onto you and shoot you from across the map, and you have to go basically 10-20 feet in order to just lock onto them. And that's really... That's not necessarily a fair fight. It's not unfair, but it's also not a fair fight. If there was some sort of accessory that could even the odds, I would really appreciate it. For now, I guess that's why they hand you the binoculars to counter-snipe, and I almost rolled off the edge there. So these katana knights don't take as many hits. The archery knights do, though. They're about as tough as those parasite men over in the Tseldora sniper spot. Alright, so I need to get across here somehow. That door has smoke coming off of it. There's probably fire behind it. There's a couple guys up there. I'm gonna have to clear this area, honestly, before I move forward. Hopefully it doesn't take me too far. So my options are go down. Let's see. Oh, there's another katana knight. I only just noticed him because his blade suddenly was in the background, and I noticed him like, huh, what's that strange blade? Oh god, he's behind me. I hope he drops that katana. It turns out that many creatures will actually, if they're holding a weapon, will actually drop that weapon. But it's just their drop percentage. So a lot of the people I've seen and fought, there's a reason why other people have their weapons, is because those are in fact drops. Which makes me wonder, if you're an archer, if you can get this guy's giant, iron bow. I'm trying to see if I can get a beat on this guy and snipe him using the stairs as cover. I need to work on my sniping skills. He has not... those aren't just any regular arrows, too. Oh, come on. I'm basically just at the threshold of range. I basically need to be right here in order to just get him at my range. I wonder if that's by design. I'm sniping so terribly. I wanted to read the message before I open that door because there's smoke coming off this door. Not here. Alright, that's what figures. Okay, there's fire erupting from that door, so that's probably not a good idea. This looks important. Huge. Good thing that I'm invincible when pulling switches. Alright, so let's see what that did. I'm gonna get closer to this guy. Alright, now that I have a lock on you, let's even up these odds. Fortunately, even though his blows are powerful, there's fortunately enough of a gap in order to fight between. Again, I'm a little bit slow of a caster myself, which is starting to, again, add more evidence that I should probably abandon going an armored mage route. It's good, but I'm starting to feel the mileage. I'm starting to feel how much I can get for what this type of build is worth. I really feel I prefer quicker characters, and I'm not going to manage a quicker character with the limitations of armor here. So I'm going to have to rely on my quickness and spellcasting. Alright, so it looks like the bridge lowered itself on one end there. There's another couple of those knights, and there's one up there, as well as an area going off into the distance. The ladder goes up there. Drop down's here. And I could drop down there onto this ladder, which goes up here. And there's stuff over there. And I don't see anything on the ground there. Alright, let's cross this bridge. Looks like I'm supposed to lower this platform. I'm gonna have to just jump that gap there. Alright, so that's the fog door I saw. There's another giant archer. Alright. Wow, he's still in the wrong place. No problem. Alright. I'm slowly getting their entire armor set. Alright, chest in the distance. I see it. Jump this gap. Alright, so it looks like there's something by jumping across that little gap there, which I was planning on doing because I saw treasure there earlier. Oh, so that's the infamous two-hander that I see a lot of people. Is Y-hander. Let's see. That's a tricky jump getting to there. Not gonna lie. Let's see. If I angle myself, I should be able to roll into the wall and not die. I see there's another switch there, though. That probably lowers the bridge. Let's see. This looks easier. Let's just try the safe jump first. Alright. That's the exact platform that you need to roll to. Dull Ember. That's a key item, too. Dull Ember. Where does that go? Do I need a light up said Ember? Ferrous Lockstone. Alright. Try item. Well, sure, since I don't detect this as a rat area. Oh, nice. Pools of water. That'll be handy. I guess I need to soak myself and protect myself against some fire. Oh, there's a platform down there on fire. Interesting. I probably have to go down there at some point. Guess that's the reason for all this water. I drop the gap. And let's try this tricky item here. It's all about the approach. I'm going to aim at the wall. Let's see. Because I could try to go for the boss there. And there's that door down there, which also looks like it's on fire. Yep, that's definitely on fire. Okay, so let's try this little item first. Ooh! That was close. Okay, well I got the item, whatever those are, red leech troches. And there's the switch, so let's go ahead and probably jump down there, I think. Drop down carefully, alright. Don't see any soldiers, that's good. And dropping this down, which seemed to have, let's see, what did that do? That didn't stop the fire. That probably lowered the other side of the bridge, but let me see how I get down from here safely. Yeah, the bridge is level now, that's good. Oh, okay, so there's a chest down there. Am I still soaked? I think I am. I should probably try for that little treasure too. But you know what? Okay, that door has a handle on it. Let's see. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause here. We're going to take care of this door. And I'm going to pick it up from this area. Let's see what actually turns when I turn it. Oh, looks like it takes off the fire. Nice. Alright, so the fire's out. I'll catch it up next time. So, see you guys later. Bye.